This is News 14 Carolina meteorologist Matthew East here on the Weather on the Ones Forecast Center. You have clicked on to the Friday, June 19th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A hot, steamy couple of days coming up here across the Carolinas as we head into the Father's Day weekend here. And again yesterday, we had a big complex of storms originate way up in parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, then dive down through the western Carolinas all the way into Florida. Let me show you the storm reports from yesterday. You can clearly follow the path of that MCV or that MCS, that mesoscale convective system, and the vortex associated with it. All the wind damage reports all the way from Iowa and Nebraska down through Florida yesterday. Quite an impressive complex of storms that developed and tracked through the western Carolinas. Now here's the water vapor imagery from this morning. A big upper ridge centered from the southern plains through the deep south, and that is now building into our area. Still a couple of complexes of storms riding over the top of that ridge. There's the radar from 5:20 this morning. One complex of storms in Nebraska and Iowa. Another one moving around the Great Lakes region in the Midwest, dropping southeastward. Let's take a closer look up that way. And two different complexes of storms, each of which will round the top of that ridge and then begin their drop off to the southeast. Now, the models never handle those MCSs or those mesoscale convective systems terribly well. Let me show you the NAM model for this afternoon. And it has the Carolinas completely dry. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to include the chance of some late afternoon or early evening isolated showers and storms. It'll probably be very hit and miss. Many folks staying dry today, but there'll probably be at least a few storms out there late this afternoon and this evening, and the ones that develop could be locally strong to severe. There's your day one convective outlook, and certainly a big severe weather risk today in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Huge moderate risk area up that way. But notice the slight risk does dip into northern parts of North Carolina and really anywhere across the state. If you see one of those isolated storms pop up this afternoon, it could be pretty strong. Now tomorrow, we have a weakening cold front that will drop into the region from the north. This is the precip tomorrow afternoon off the NAM, and notice it brings that widely scattered or isolated shower and storm activity down into North Carolina from the north during the afternoon. There's your day two convective outlook. Does include a good bit of North Carolina in that slight risk area. So again, tomorrow I'll mention the chance of some isolated afternoon showers or storms. And like we've been talking about, any of the storms that do develop could be locally strong to severe. I think both today and tomorrow, with any of the storms damaging winds the main threat. But really the biggest story the next couple of days is the heat. We're talking a lot of mid-90s for highs the next couple of days, probably some upper 90s mixing in, especially tomorrow around the Piedmont. Heat indices, especially tomorrow, may exceed 100 degrees in some spots. So pretty stifling heat coming up the next couple of days. That's up toward the dangerous levels. You need to be very careful with any extended periods of outdoor activity and check on the elderly, check on the kids. And remember to get plenty of cold water to the pets you might have outside. It's one of those type of periods coming up the next couple of days. You need to remember to do those type of things. All right, Father's Day, Sunday. And it looks like that cold front I mentioned will be off to our south. So we'll begin the process of backing down the heat. Highs probably easing down toward closer to 90 degrees in many spots for Sunday. And it looks like a dry day for much of the state on Sunday. All right, let's go on out to Monday, and we switched over to the GFS model now. And what happens here on the GFS, it stalls that frontal boundary out really right across the upstate of South Carolina into western North Carolina and fires off some afternoon storms near that front. That's a possibility. I've left the forecast primarily dry for Monday, and it'll just depend on exactly where that front hangs up. But it looks like maybe a few afternoon storms Monday, but most folks probably staying dry. And that front really begins to wash out by Tuesday. And we're talking 80s for highs again, Monday, Tuesday, and on into Wednesday as well. So certainly a break from the heat coming the first several days of next work week. And then we go on out to Thursday. There's our next cold front showing up off to the north and west. That will probably drop in here by Friday night or Saturday of next week and enhance the chance of showers and storms again. But right now, next work week looking a little cooler and not a whole lot of widespread shower and storm activity. At least that's the way it looks right now. All right, that's it for this Friday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everyone have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Have a great weekend. And we'll be back in place for the new edition of the video on Monday morning. Have a great weekend and God bless.